All right, so our lesson for today is going to focus on point slope. Point slope. Now, so far we've seen several different forms of equations. Yesterday we started with slope-intercept form, which was a piece of cake, right? Today we're going to do something similar, but we're going to add one more form, okay? That's why, if you notice the objective, I can write in graph. We're still writing and graphing. This is what we did yesterday. A slope-intercept form equation, we know what that is. But this time, I'm only going to give you the slope and 1 point. Yesterday, I gave you the slope and the y-intercept. So this is the only difference from yesterday and today. But we're going to use the specific form called point slope. Which form? Tell your neighbor. Okay, so we don't need a Fraser model for today because we already know what slope-intercept form looks like. Slope-intercept form, we said, is y equals mx plus b. Remember that? Yes. All right. However, we do need to know what point slope looks like. So copy this down, please. Steps. It says, to write a slope-intercept form equation, I write the point slope form equation. What does that look like? Like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Step 2, substitute the given slope and the point. And at the end, we solve for y. These steps are to write a slope-intercept form equation. Once again, point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Tell your neighbor the point slope form, please. All right, so for today in our objective, we said we're going to write in graph. This is to write an equation. However, to graph an equation for today, here are the steps. Copy these. To graph a line given a slope in 1 point, I, number 1, plot the point. From there, I use the slope to plot points. And at the end, I graph the line. Very similar to what we did yesterday. Except for yesterday, we plotted the y-intercept. Remember that? And then we used the slope. Today, I'm not giving you the y-intercept. I'm giving you 1 point. That's why the first step is to plot the point, use the slope to plot points, and at the end, you graph your line. Copy that? Okay. So once again, today we're doing 2 things. We're writing an equation in slope-intercept form, but we're using the point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Also, we're graphing, but I'm only giving you a point and a slope. So we plot the point, use the slope to plot points, and graph our line. Okay? So with that said, check this out. On your graph paper, get the graph paper, but turn to the side where you have the 4 small coordinate planes, the 4 small ones. And we're going to stop at the top left, okay? Let's use that one. Copy this down. Example 1A. 1A. We're going to start with graphing. Example 1A says, graph the line with the given slope that contains the given point. Slope equals 2 and the point 3, 1. Copy that, please. In the top left of your graph paper, we're using the side that has the 4 small graph coordinate planes, right? Yeah, only copy the black text. Example 1A, and copy the black text, please. Go. So, I'm going to go over this one step by step, so pay attention, pens down, eyes up here. So, I'm going to do part of it, and I'll ask you to copy right after me. Here we go. So, it says, graph the line given the slope that contains a given point. According to the notes I gave you, step 1 says, plot the point. So, what is the point that they give us? 3, 1. So check this out. I'm going to go ahead and plot that point. This one, 3, 1, is right there. Okay, there it is. Step 2 says, use the slope to plot points. So my slope is 2, but since we're graphing, we're going to write it in the fraction form, so this is 2 over 1. That tells me to go up 2 steps and 1 to the right. So from this point right here, 2 steps up, 1 to the right, I plot my points. I do it again. 2 steps up, 1 to the right, plot my point. And the last step says, graph your line. And there it is. Now, how is it similar to what we did yesterday? Yesterday, we didn't start here. We actually started on the y-axis. Today, I'm not giving you the y-intercept, am I? No. No, I'm just giving you a point. That's why we start at that point. Copy that, please. Okay, so everybody copy this. That was 1A. Now copy 1B. Copy this next one down, please. So since we already have these instructions on the other example, just write example 1B, slope 3/4 and point -2, 4. No, I just said use the one to the right of that. All right. Let's do this one together. Here we go. Our first step, we need to plot our point. Is that correct? Yeah. All right, so our point is -2, 4. -2, 4 is right there. There it is. Okay? Next, step 2, use the slope to plot points. My slope says 3 steps up, 4 to the right. So from this point, we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. On mine, I don't fit anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and graph my line from there. And there it is. Make sure when you're graphing your line, extend it as much as you can, but make sure it has arrows at the end. Yes. Remember when I introduced slope and I said this is a rise, this is a run? The run is always to the right. Always to the right. The rise, if it's a positive, it's up. If it's a negative, it's down. Okay? Everybody got this? All right, let's do the next one. Example 1C. Go to the next graph. Example 1C. 1C, copy this down, please. Example 1C. The slope is 0.4, -3. Go. All right, first things first. We're going to plot our point. Let's see. 4, -3. 4, -3 is right there. Okay? Next, we're going to use the slope to plot points. However, who notices that this one's slope is 0? Now let me refresh in your memory. When we first introduced slope, I said there's 4 different types of slopes. There's a positive that goes in that direction. Remember that? There's a negative that goes in that direction. There's an undefined that looks like this. And there's a 0 slope that looks like that. Remember that? Yeah. A flat line. So guess what? Our line is going to go through that point, and we're done. Now, if you don't see it, check this out. Another way of looking at it is like this. My slope is 0. 0 over 1. Let's see. What is the rise? 0. And how many steps to the right? 1. There's my point. I do it again. I do it again. And I do it again. And that's how you create your line. Everybody got it? Okay, let's go to the next one. Example 1D. 1D. Copy this down, please. There it is. Example 1D. They give us the slope -1 and it contains the point 2, -2. Do that one by yourself, please. Go. You don't need it. It's the same instructions. They're all the same instructions. So just write the slope and the point. So first things first, you plotted your point, 2, -2. 2, -2 is right there. My slope is -1 over 1. That means 1 step down, 1 to the right. 1 step down, 1 to the right. Plot your point. Let's do it again. 1 step down, 1 to the right. Plot your point. And your line should look something like that. Hands if you got that. Okay, good. All right. So notice that the graphing on this one is fairly simple, right? All right. So now let's leave the graphing for right now, and let's go back to our Cornell notes. Copy these examples down, please. Example 2A. 2A. Copy this down, please. Okay, copy that. If you have a big font, it's probably not going to fit underneath the notes that you took earlier, so flip the paper over and do it in the back. But here it is. Example 2A. Copy the black text, please. It says, write a slope-intercept form equation using point-slope form for the line with a given slope that contains the given point. For this one, A, slope is 16.51. Draw a line down and look at this one. B, slope is -4.03. Draw a line down, and for C, slope is 1, -4. Copy that, please. You got 30 seconds. Now notice on this one, they don't ask us to graph. On this one, they're asking us to write a slope-intercept form equation. Now, what does slope-intercept form look like? Y equals mx plus b. However, they want us to use point-slope form. Okay? So check this out. Here goes the process. Pens down, eyes up here. Here it goes. Step 1. According to the notes that I gave you, step 1 says, write your point-slope form. My point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Are we there so far? You're just paying attention. From there, substitute the slope and the point. So what is my slope here? 1 over 6. And that goes instead of the m, so I'm going to write it right underneath. 1 over 6. The point has values, so I'm going to label this one x sub 1, y sub 1. So where's x sub 1? Right here. So instead of that, I'm going to write what? 5. So that goes right there. Y sub 1 is 1. Where's that at? Over here. So this is 1. Are we there so far? Okay, I'm going to bring everything else down. The y, the minus, the equals, parentheses, x, minus, parentheses. Everybody see that? Okay, copy that, please. So let me recap. We're writing a slope-intercept form equation, but we're using point-slope. So the first step I did, I wrote my point-slope form. There it is. Next, I substitute the slope and the point. There they are. Are we there so far? Last step, I need to solve for y. That means I need to leave y by itself. But before I do that, I need to get rid of this parentheses here, which means I need to use distributive property. So check this out. 1/6 times x becomes 1/6x. 1/6 times -5 becomes -5 over 6 equals y minus 1. Now, some of you are saying, how did we get this, Mr. Q? Let me show you. 1/6 times -5. 1/6 times -5. How do we multiply a fraction times a whole number? We do that over 1, and you just multiply. That's how we get this. Are we there so far? At the end, we need to solve for y. That means I need to get rid of this minus 1 here. So what do I do that? Add 1, add 1. This cancels. Y equals 1, 6x. However, I have a dilemma right here. Notice this. I have negative 5 6s plus 1. So, check this out. How can I make this into a fraction? Over 1. Are we there so far? All right. So, what is my common denominator? 6, so times 6 times 6. So this becomes what? 6 over 6. So this becomes negative 5 6s plus 6 over 6. What do I have left? Plus 1 over 6. And look at it. Is this a slope-intercept form? Yes, the slope is here, and the the intercept's right here. Everybody see that? All right, copy that down, please. So basically, we're just solving for y at the end in order to get our equation. But I did some of the work here so you guys can see what goes in there. Go. I'm going to go ahead and erase this right here so we can do this one together. This is just to show you what we did here. Is that correct? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And I'm going to continue this one. Here we go. So let's do this one together. What was our first step from here to here? Write down the formula. Write down the form. So our slope, our point slope form is what? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right? So far so good? Yeah. Next, what do we do? Look at it. Put in the plug in the numbers or substitute. Substitute the slope. What is my slope? Negative 4. And we're going to label this. This is x sub 1, y sub 1. So let's see. Where's x sub 1? Right there. And what goes there? 0. What is y sub 1? 3. And that goes right there. So therefore, bring everything else down. We got y, the minus, the equal, parentheses, the x, minus, parentheses. Hands if you're up to right there so far. Okay? So now, let's recap. We write our point slope form, substitute our values. Are we there so far? All right. What is our last step? Solve for y, because it needs to be in y form, right? So we need to distribute this right here. So what is negative 4 times x? Negative 4x. What is negative 4 times negative 0? 0. I'm just going to write it in here so you guys can see it. Plus 0. Bring everything else down. Y minus 3. Am I done? No. No. What's our last step? Add 3. Add 3. Really fly? Y equals negative 4x plus 3. Are we done? Yep. Yeah, what is this called again? Slope-intercept form. Why? Because the slope comes first and the y-intercept at the end. Yes? This is a negative 4x. Okay, now that we did this one together, do this one by yourself. Do C. Slope 1, point negative 1, negative 4. Let's see if you see what I see. See what I did right there? All right, go. Okay, let's see. All of a sudden I started hearing some disagreements. Here he goes. Here goes the process. Everybody look up. Here he goes. Eyes up here. First step, we write our point slope form. We got y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Are we there so far? Yeah. What is my slope? 1. What is x sub 1? Negative 1. What is y sub 1? Negative 4. Now check this out. Look what I'm about to do, and some of you made a mistake here. I bring down the y. I bring down the negative. I bring down the equal sign. Bring down the parentheses, the x, the negative, and the parentheses. What happened right there? Think about it. Look at it. What just happened for those of you that made a mistake? You forgot to bring down what? The negatives. Make sure you bring those down because those are part of the formula. If you don't bring them down, then you're making a mistake, assuming that this is already covered here, and it's not. Because watch, what is negative times a negative? Positive here. How about here? Positive, and now we distribute. So check this out. Distribute, this becomes 1x plus 1. Bring this down, y plus 4. Am I done? No. I subtract 4, y equals 1x minus 3. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay, not bad. Once again, those of you that made a mistake, you made a mistake here with the negatives. Make sure you bring those down and you multiply those out. Okay? Yeah. Right. So just be careful when you do the substitution. I know. All right, here we go. Now, any questions with these? How to get our slope-intercept form equation using point slope? No. Okay, so now check this out. Right now I'm giving you the slope and a point. However, copy this next one down. Example 4A. 4A. You don't have to copy the text. You already have the instructions. Example 4A, copy the 2 points. 2, negative 3, and 4, 1. So you're like, we're missing some information, aren't we? Okay, so let's go one step at a time together with this one. First things first, we write our point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Are we there so far? Okay. However, the very first thing after that, we were supposed to substitute for the slope. Is that correct?
Yes.
But do we have a slope?
No.
No. But can we get the slope? Yes. Check this out. I'm going to do a little side step this way, and I'm going to write m equals, let's see if we remember this one, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember that? That's how we find our slope. So therefore, let's label these. This is x sub 1, y sub 1. This one is x sub 2, y sub 2. Everybody following? Kind of? Okay, now let's substitute this into our formula in here. So we get m equals. So notice I'm still not continuing here till I find a slope. Bless you. With the slope, we know what to do after that, right? Okay, so let's find our slope. What is y sub 2? 1 minus, what is y sub 1?
-3.
Negative 3. Don't forget to write the negative also in front of it. Over. X sub 2 is 4 minus x sub 1 is 2. Let's see. Negative times a negative becomes a positive. This becomes 4 over 2. So what is 4 over 2? 2. So now we have a slope, don't we? And do we have x1, y1? Yes. So now we can substitute stuff in here and get our equation. So here you go. That's it. That was just to find the slope. There we go. This is 2 for the slope. What is x sub 1? 2. What is y sub 1? Negative 3. Bring everything else down. The y, what else? Minus the equal parentheses x minus parentheses. This becomes negative times a negative becomes a positive. Okay, let's distribute that. This becomes 2x minus 4 equals to y plus 3. Are we done? No. Yes. We're distributing. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Here we go. Subtract 3, subtract 3. Y equals 2x minus 7. Are we done? Yes, because we got a slope-intercept form equation. Our homework for tonight is found on page what? What is it? 301, numbers 1 through 29 odds. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy your homework. Put in your homework on your way out. See you guys tomorrow.